Since you absolutely loved this TikTok on kids fighting each other, here's my story on me fighting a whole bunch of kids. Not like me as an adult, like me as a child fighting, you get it, alright? Hey, and for the record, I'm not much of a fighter. I never had to be. The only experience I had was fighting my brother, and he's got 10 years on me, and I shouldn't need to explain how that went. But it was in 3rd grade, so can I really even call it a fight? It's too late, I'm doing it. In 3rd grade, I picked up a couple bullies from 5th grade. And at the time, I really didn't even think of them as bullies. Only the enemy, my arch nemesis, the big bad to my story. And I called them Kevin and the Goon Squad. And honestly, the goons weren't even that big of an issue. It was just Kevin, because he was blessed with the body of a small man. Like, how do you have stubble on your chin in 5th grade? Graduate and go to college already. Go back to your 9 to 5 so you can bully interns, not me. And he was an absolute menace to some of the kids in my grade. We had recess, PE, and YMCA after school. And most of the time, they just throw stuff at me. Ironically, when there's teachers watching. They must have thought we were friends. They thought wrong. But when teachers were around, I'd always get nervous. Like if I mess up, it's over for me. And I think it was knowing that they could actually get me in trouble. And I didn't really care if they got mad at me. It was the fact that they could call my mom at any time. They didn't understand the power that they had in their hands. So I always moved throughout my day like I'm walking on eggshells. I acted almost like I'd go to detention for sharpening my pencil for too long because the end just keeps breaking off. I can never get it right. Or in this case, defending myself from potential bodily harm. But they tend to only mess with me when the teachers are around. Because during recess, I turned into a completely different person. All that nervous energy I gained throughout the day acted almost like a battery, giving me extra fuel when I was able to release it. In one recess, the goons straight up tried to jump me. I mean, like technically jumped, but we're in elementary school, so sorta not really. Normally during recess, I'm playing basketball or showing people I can do the splits so they think I'm cool. But this time I walked out and all I heard was footsteps behind me. And I took off. And before I go on with the story, I gotta acknowledge the hierarchy of recess. It's the only thing people cared about. And that's who's the fastest. And although I was small, I still had a penthouse view from the top of that list. My main priority every recess was to rip the ankles off somebody's feet. It was my favorite thing. And now that you got some context, they were chasing me, I hit a sharp turn and instantly crossed this kid out of shoes. He's finished, he's done for the rest of recess. But these two kept up. So I ran to the play set and I didn't even know what I was thinking here. I could have just easily hopped off and kept running. But I jumped all the way to the end of the bars. A 6-foot gap. I'm like 4 foot in heels. But I jumped and in midair I see Kevin scoop up a handful of rocks so he can throw them at me. So I grabbed the last bar. I swing, he throws the rocks and hits this kid in the face. And I landed at the top of the bars. Then I hear, "Hey, Kevin!" And the teacher storms over and is on his head for throwing rocks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, bro. And they never came after me during recess again. But there was one place that we had equal footing. PE, my favorite spot that they'd always try to ruin. They've got the strength to throw dodgeballs, I've got the speed to dodge them. But one day, the PE teacher decided to make a new game. It was called reverse tag, and it was just a game, you know? Harmless, right? Just an interesting twist on tag. But the more he explained it, the more I realized it's getting a lot closer to Hunger Games territory. He said, everyone's gonna be it. So everyone's gonna be tagging everyone. And once you're tagged, you're out. No teams, no revives. And this teacher really liked to not pay attention to anything. He'd be on his phone, he'd be reading his book, he'd do anything else except for watch us. And the class interpreted everything he said as, I just got permission to lay hands on anyone and everyone, unsupervised, with potentially lethal force. I take off and I hid behind a little barrier made out of mats for cover. And I could just ask somebody to get me out, but I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna quit. I'm 100% here to win. So I'd pick off people who came close and I'd watch this carnage unfold. Everybody in my class and in the 5th grade class just laying each other out. It was absolutely insane. Then people started forming groups and started doing organized attacks. Like I watched this Naruto kid get chased into a barrier, then did some hand signals and a bird call, and his squad hopped out and reversed jumped these people. But then the Goon Squad came in and almost wiped their entire team. Naruto kid just barely escaped. Then the Goon Squad goes around and wipes every team in sight. But luckily, throughout their warpath, these two got out. And now there's just 5 remaining. The teacher looked up and saw that nobody was going after each other because nobody wanted to lose. And he puts all of us into the middle of the court. While everyone circled around, you might see a friendly survival to the fittest. But I saw a cage match. No way in, no way out. It's me, Jenny, Cindy, Naruto Kid, and we're all locked in here with Kevin. Me and Naruto Kid ran it for a bit. mostly just to buy time, and Kevin ran through Jenny, basically pushed her out of the cage. Naruto Kid saw this and he knew what he had to do. He needed to get revenge for the dead homies. You ever see a professional slap competition? Because this slap deserved a gold medal. I had never seen anything like it. Do you know how hard you gotta hit someone for them to slide across the floor? Neither do I, and I did not intend on finding out. But I could tell I was next. He came after me and I started dipping and dodging, trying to tag him, but his arms, they're just so much longer, I can't. But I knew I could keep it up until I saw an opening. But after a bit, he got frustrated and he went from just throwing hands to throwing hands. Like, what did I do, bruh? Hey, teacher, bro, help. This man's trying to kill me, help. I managed to get away for a second and these kids are placing bets on who's gonna win this. I swear they're betting anything from chocolate milks to full lunches. They were mostly for Kevin, which made me feel bad, low-key. And one of the other kids said they'd buy me as many chocolate milks as I wanted if I won. Look. In school, if you wanted to motivate me to do anything, bring me food. I was like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. I was fiending for it at all times. I'd eat breakfast, first period, I'm hungry. After lunch, sixth period, I'm hungry. So when I heard this, I knew it was an opportunity and I needed to take it. One hit could end it all, and I just needed an opening. And just like that, I got Kevin out. Everyone's going crazy, screaming, yelling. I thought I won there for like half a second, but it wasn't over. I forgot about Cindy. And I'm feeling like I got this. I just took down the biggest competition in this gym. I'm tired, but I've come way too far to lose now. This is gonna be easy. I lost. I lost the game, lost the chocolate milks, lost feeling in my face. It turns out Cindy's in Taekwondo, but I did beat Kevin. I guess I came out on top, right? All right, kids, it's time to line up. Hey, so, my bad. I was gonna come in here and just complain about why I had this massive break, but honestly, it doesn't even matter at this point. Long story short, I had a flash drive full of videos, several TikToks, basically everything I've done up until this point as Manta, and it all got deleted. If you wanna know how, I put the entire story underneath my Instagram post. But I realized it didn't matter. It was a couple of trash weeks, I've had worse, but now I'm back and beyond driven. It's no longer a want, it's a need. I need this to work. So, new goal, 100K before my birthday. It's you and me. I'll do all the heavy lifting, you navigate. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. Hey, you know what? Let's make this interesting. 3K by New Year's, I'll get a small Manta tattoo. At 100K, I'll get a big one. What do you think? Let me know. Do we have a deal? Hey, shake my hand, the fuck?